between, it's the Turkish style, where masjid in Turkey, I'm sure a lot of you have been to Istanbul, the masjid is not only a place to pray, it's usually a place to pray associated with usually place of waqf, where it generates money for the masjid, and usually there's a school. So it's a beautiful, amazing. And I say this for two reasons. Number one, appreciate the beauty of Allah. But number two, anytime Allah gives us something, what do we normally do as human beings? Get very used to it, and we don't appreciate it, and we take it as granted, right? So you wanted to buy a car, and you were dying to get the car, and you got the car, and then after a month, it's a car. Let's see what's the new. So always remember this, and it's beautiful when you get speakers from outside, because they see the beauty. I mean, I thought the one I visited 6 months ago, close to Columbus, was very nice. No, this is amazing. The color, the yellow, with the stone, with the brick, it's beautiful. And look at this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes you all min ash-shakirin. May Allah make you of the grateful. And how you will be grateful to a masjid. You're not going to say to the masjid, thank you, or jazakallah khair. How you will be grateful to the masjid? Come to the masjid. إِنَّمَا يَعْمُرُ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ. Be from those who will flourish the masjid, especially those of you who live close. At least once or twice a day you are here. Men and women, and don't tell me women don't come to the masjid. She's supposed to stay home. That's a long discussion, we'll talk about it tomorrow. But please, I'm saying this, Allah is my witness. I'm saying it because really this is how I felt. I probably said this like 10 times. This is beautiful, this is beautiful. And then when I went inside, La ilaha illallah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you of the shakirin, Ya Rabbi, Ameen. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Haifa Yunis. I am by profession actually obstetrician and gynecologist. And I didn't get your name, please. Oh, and it's Thamina, exactly. And Thamina actually studied in our competitor. So I studied across from her. I studied at Washington University in St. Louis. She was in St. Louis University, the competitor we used to call them. So alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, I always wanted to study Islamic studies. But because when you become a physician, life takes you, unfortunately. So once I finished, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, started studying in the States first. This is the time where there were nobody, no one to teach. What are you talking about? This is just after September 11. And Allah put it in my heart after September 11. It's like not before, alhamdulillah. And then alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, I was able to study with a couple of shuyukh, may Allah reward them. And then I decided I'm moving, I need to study well as I studied medicine. So I moved to Saudi actually and stayed there for 9 years, walillah alhamd. Worked, had to work, not by choice. Full-time OBGYN, but alhamdulillah was able to study, and Allah also gave me his book, walillah alhamd, there. And then I came back, we started a small institute called Jannah Institute. You can check it out, it's on internet of course. Our website is jannahinstitute.com. The goal and the aim is that woman doesn't have to go through what I went through. It's available here, and you can have it. So inshallah, we start the small plant. Inshallah, Allah make it the biggest tree. Ya Rabbi, Ameen. So I was asked to talk about Tazkiyah, and I looked at the time and I said, you are kidding me. You're giving me 1 hour to talk about Tazkiyatun Nafs. Normally we do courses. Each course is 1 semester, 12 classes, and this is the 3rd year. And we have not finished half of the book yet. So I'm gonna, if by Allah's grace, if you'll open my heart and yours, that I will at least give you an idea about what is this tazkiyah about, and what is this purification of the heart, and how much we are missing as Muslims. We all, young and old, men and women, we all agree on one thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we Muslims, in general, come or don't come to the masjid, practice or don't practice, we are not where we are. We are not where we should be. We are not the best representative of Islam. Am I right or wrong? How many times you tell your children or your non-Muslim friend, don't judge this religion by the people you meet. Judge it by it. And one of the main reasons is not because we don't believe in Allah or we don't know, but we don't know something called tazkiyah, purification. It has many names. Some people teach it as Islamic manners. Some people teach it as spirituality. Some people even use the word Sufism for it. You name it. The idea is that not the name. Allah in the Quran used the word Tazkiyah. Let's go to the source, the one who created you and me. And Tazkiyah means, and if those of you who know me, I'm not going to speak because after 5 minutes, everybody will be looking at their phones. So what does Tazkiyah mean? Young and old. What is purification? I translated it. What is purification? Cleansing. Make you better, okay. I'll give you an ayah, and that's inshallah by Allah's grace, will make you look at it differently. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it 4 times in the Quran. Same ayah in a little bit of a change. Said it twice in Surah Al-Baqarah, once in Ali Imran, and said it once in Surah Al-Jumu'ah. طيب? So he said, هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم. This is in Surah Al-Baqarah. يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة ويعلمكم ما لم تكونوا تعلمون. That's Al-Baqarah. He is the one who sent, he is Allah, capital H, sent his Rasul, alayhi salatu wassalam, to do what? 4 things. Recite ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Quran. يزكيهم, purify them. Teach them Al-Kitab wal-Hikmah, the book and the Sunnah. So book, Sunnah, and Tazkiyah together. We all talk about book, Al-Quran, and we all talk about Sunnah. But who talks about Tazkiyah? Purification. So what is a purification? What is this? What? Any idea? Anybody? Yeah, purify what? What's wrong with me? Alhamdulillah. To be better, that's general, generic. What is it? So here we go. Right? Ta'ala says, what's wrong with me? I look beautiful, I'm very nice, we're sweet. Why do I need to purify myself? Please. Act like Allah wants us to act. That's a good goal. That's one of the goals. One of the goals. I'll give you a couple of things. Remember, I'm just giving you an overall in this 1 hour. And inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put it in your heart, at least you will look into it more. And if you read Arabic, you're lucky, because there's a lot of books in Arabic, not many in English, because it's very hard to translate. Tazkiyah, anything you want to learn in this deen, in this Islam, go to the name. Simple name, right? What does zakah mean? Tazkiyah origin is zakah. What is zakah? We all do it. We have to. We have no choice. What is zakah? Has 2 meanings. Go to the root, meaning open the dictionary and put the word zakah. You're going to get 2 meanings. Very important, pay attention to the meaning, because the meaning will tell you what I need to do, what is my goal, what is the process. One meaning, az-zakah, at-tathir, purify. So there is something not good, I need to remove it. Simple. Second one is an-nama, to increase. How many times you hear, give money, give your zakah and see what Allah will give you? How many times you've heard this? So tazkiyah is to purify you and me. Allah created you and me with purity, perfection. The baby, when it's born, now this is my specialty, when the baby is delivered, that heart, Allah described it in the Quran. فطرة الناس التي فطر الله فطرة الله التي فطر الناس عليها. I am pure. My heart and yours is like crystal, like this water. You can see through. Nothing in it. I see good as good. I see false as false. Sad is sad. Happiness is happiness. What happens then? Afterward, we grow up and surroundings starts affecting us. And I start changing. For example, and I'm young and I know lying is not accepted, regardless what religion I practice. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Welcome all these beautiful young ladies in the back. May Allah keep you strong. Ya Rabbi, Ameen. Allah created us all pure. We go through life and we change. And the change is not always what Allah wants. Every creation around you, and I want you all to pay attention to this, and I just said this as I was walking. Every creation around us glorify Allah, true or false? Everything, and not creation meaning living, everything, 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 everything. Glorify Allah. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ حَلِيمًا غَفُورًا. Allah said this in Al-Isra. Everything, the chair, the floor, the light, the door, the tree, every animal, and you and me, glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very nice. So I am supposed to be glorifying Him all the time. Go to Surah Al-Hajj and see how Allah described you and me. And Allah said this to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Alam tara, don't you see? And Allah yusabbihu lahu. To Allah glorify. And He starts counting. Who glorify Allah? Yusabbihu lahu. Man fi samawat. Everything in the heavens, in the sky. وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. And then He starts counting. وَالشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ وَالنُّجُومُ. The sun, the moon, the sky, and وَالشَّجَرُ وَالْجِبَالِ. Mountains, وَالشَّجَرُ. Trees, and وَالدَّوَابِ. Animals. Now comes to you and me. What did He say? If anyone knows the ayah. وَكَثِيرٌ مِّنَ النَّاسِ. Not all people. Not all people glorify Allah. Let me ask you this. How many of you, all of us, when you came to this hall, didn't you go through a tree or a grass, right? Or you saw the cloud, or you saw some beauty. Did you say Subhanallah? Too busy. Too busy. Probably looking at my phone, drinking, eating, talking. So we are not all always glorifying Allah, meaning we are thinking about Allah and He is the one and He's the one who's doing. Tazkiyah, when your heart and mind is pure, everything, and most of what I'm going to say is something you don't read it in books. It's something you have to live it. When you are in the process of Tazkiyah, and as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take you, and you get there, and it's not an easy process. Everything in your life, from the morning till the evening, roam around Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you're still living your life. You have children, and you go to your work, and you get stuck in the traffic, and you eat, and you sleep, but everything roam around Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You and I will be like that tree which 24/7 glorify Allah. Like the moon, like the sun, that glorify Allah 24/7. But I need one part of my body to work better. Which part? The heart. The heart. And when you study Tazkiyah, when you hear Tazkiyah, there's 3 parts in my body. I and you are 3 parts. This is how Allah created us. What is the parts? The one we see, they call it al-jism, the body. Second, mind. I think, I'm not convinced. It's wrong. It's right. Thinking. And then, the heart. And when I say the heart, we normally do this. But I'm not talking about the pumping heart for physicians in this room, or especially if there's any cardiologist in this room. It's not the pumping heart. It's not the physical heart. The physical heart, Allah created it for one reason, to you and me, to live. I'm talking about the spiritual heart. Where is it? Where is it? Anyone knows? Don't be surprised. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's that thing inside you that when you are in need, something in you tells you, go on that sajjada and cry to Allah, He'll give it to you. Your heart. So it's not a physical, it's not something I can see. But we always do this because that's what it means. That part that needs to be purified. And why this part? There's a hadith of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. I have no doubt anyone in this room has not at least heard about it. The famous hadith about the heart. What did he say? It's a long hadith, but the end of it. ألا إن في الجسد مضغة. Verily, in that body, there is a piece of flesh. That's how he said it. Piece of flesh. القلب. He didn't say القلب. مضغة. إذا صلحت. If this piece of flesh, Allah knows how much it weighs. If that part is correct, صلح الجسد كله. Everything else is good. وإذا فسدت, if it will be spoiled, rotten, diseased, everything else will follow. Then he said, ألا وهي القلب. Work on our hearts. And let me ask everybody here, especially the youth. Alhamdulillah, I'm so happy I'm seeing young people. May Allah reward everyone who brought them. Because I would love, and Allah my witness, someone taught me what I am saying now, and I was 16. I probably would have been somewhere else. All the life changes when you start learning this and changing. And I'm talking about changing your relationship with Allah. I'm not talking about changing externally, or you're not going to study, or you're going to be living alone in a mountain. No. Tazkiyah is about you, literally the Khalifa on this earth. The stewards that Allah put you and me. He did not put you and me only to have fun. He did not put you and me and you on this earth to eat and drink and have fun. No. He did not put you and me to work hard, collect money, increase our bank account, and then die and go to the grave. Please forgive me, it looks so silly. It has to be more. إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة. You and me, the stewards. Question I ask everybody, young and old. If Allah is looking at you as I am speaking, are you the Khalifa? Will you say, yes, Ya Allah? And I am very happy. Can I say this? Can I? No. No, because we are not. We are not. Unfortunately, because that part of the body that I start talking about, we're putting it on the side. I care about my body. I exercise. We eat so much talk about the food we eat, we don't eat, or this is healthy, or this is not healthy. We all do that. And I'm not saying this is not, we should. And we exercise. But where is the time I give to my heart? That piece of flesh that he talked about, alayhi salatu wasalam, if it is pure, and if it is rectified, everything else will. Let me ask everyone here, and please respond. How much time in a day, the 24-hour Allah gave us, young and old, you give to your heart? How many? 1 minute? 2 minutes? 5? 0? 24? For your heart. You're probably going to ask and say, so what is the time for the heart? Why did Allah create this spiritual heart? To know Him. This is how I know Allah. It's something in me. And if you ask non-Muslims, They will answer you the same as I and you will answer. But I and you call him Allah or God with a capital G. They call him, you name it, Mother Nature, He, God, and give him names. Each one of us, we know with no doubt there is super power. This is too beautiful and too perfect for a single human being to do it. It's too perfect. No one can deny this. You believe or you don't believe, nobody deny it. Allah created my heart and yours to know him. The famous ayah in Surah Al-Dhariyat, and Allah said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I did not create human engine but to worship me. And worship me is not the right translation. Because when I tell you what's worship, what do you tell me? Pray right away. Fast. Go to Hajj. So you're going to tell me, so that's Allah created me, just sit home and pray and fast and go to Hajj? So who's going to take care of this world? Ya'budun. Allah created you and me, put you on this earth and me, steward on this earth, me and you, for one reason. Know me. Know him. And how do I know you, Ya Allah? I don't see him. You don't see him. And he did not allow us to see him here. Some of us will see him there, but not all of us. How do I know you, Ya Allah? When my heart, that's all Tazkiyah is about. The heart is like this mirror. Alhamdulillah, Allah put us in this room. Look at this mirror. How clear is this mirror? How clean, how shiny. And you look at yourself and you see yourself. And everybody the same here. The heart is like this. The clearer, the more you will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more you see why you are here. The more you see the struggle we all go about. And I had a beautiful discussion with the youth this afternoon. The struggles we go as Muslims, young and old. This Fajr Salah. When will I do it on time? When will I just wake up and jump to Allah? When? The reason is because my heart is not this pure. It's not purified. It's filled with, please forgive me, filled with junk. Spiritual teachers calls you, it's a spiritual junks, they call it. You know what's the junk in my heart and yours? And how do I know what is in my heart and yours? I'll ask you one question. First thing when you wake up in the morning, what do you think of? Phone. What else? May Allah reward you for being honest. 2. Okay. What are we going to feed the children today? 3. Work. Right? I have a meeting, I have this, my boss, it's a Friday, oh, it's Monday, right? What else? I was about to say, school, oh, I don't like this class, this teacher, this and that. Weekend, what do I think when I wake up? Why I am up? It's weekend. Let's go to sleep. Junk. The sign, and Imam Ibn al-Qayyim said this beautiful. The sign that you love Allah, I love Allah. Because we all claim. If I ask you, do you love Allah? You look at me as like, of course I do. The sign that you love Allah, I love Allah, is when you wake up, the first thing you think of is Him with capital H. And how do I think of Him? How many of us wake up every morning and you say, before you reach to your phone, and before you think of work, or before, please forgive me, we need to go to the bathroom, first thing, Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'da ma amatana. All praise to Allah. He gave me life again after I was dead. Because sleep is a small death. When my heart like this, clean, pure, my priorities will change. This is how I know I'm in Tazkiyah. You will not lose your temper young and old. And I'll give examples according to what I'm seeing in front of me. May Allah reward you all for coming. If my heart is pure, if I lose my wedding ring that cost that much money, my immediate response, Allah give and Allah take. If my heart is pure like this, my immediate response, when I get the letter on my desk and says, this is your last day of work, immediate response, Allah brings the work and Allah will bring it again. That's your goal. Tazkiyah is peace on this earth. When you are in Ramadan, and please answer me, and I can imagine this beautiful place in Ramadan. It's probably beyond. With all this beauty, the beauty of the Quran, and if the muqra is even beautiful voice. How do you feel after 20 ruk'at, and the Isha starts at 10, and you're there on your feet after 1 hour? How do you feel? How many of you will say, why did it stop? It was beautiful. Your heart is pure. You worked on it for 2 hours. Cleanse, cleaning, Quran and Salah, and you're tired, but you did it. That's Tazkiyah. Purification of the heart is when my heart, pure, clean, away from the diseases. Again, I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to quickly go through the diseases, because we all know the diseases of the body. What is the common disease these days? Diabetes, obesity, hypertension. These are the 3 common in pregnancy. The commonest 3 diseases in pregnancy as we speak is this, because of obesity. What is the commonest disease of the heart? Desire is not a disease. Desire is something Allah put it in me, but it needs to be tamed. Disease. I need to go and see a spiritual physician, and he needs to give me a prescription, or she. Number 1. I'm sorry? Yes. Kibr. Arrogance. Please forgive me, because I see you're a very good audience. Yes, you're quiet, but you're paying very good attention. Every one of us, إِلَّا مَا رَحِمَ رَبِّي, except those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose, have arrogance inside us. And we all complain about it. Subhanallah. We are all Muslims. What is the commonest complaint we all complain these days? Young and old. Let's start with the young. Discrimination. They look down at me. Oh, it's because of my hijab. Right? Because they think we are less. Come between us. And if I start about this, we will never end. Right? How many of us can now stand up, look at me in the eye, and say, you know what, Sister Haifa? I do not have kibr in me at all. Everyone Allah created is equal. When I am in that masjid upstairs in Ramadan or Jum'ah, if the person come and pray next to me is my best friend that I love, or the person who comes sit next to me I've never seen, I don't like the way she look or the way she dress, it doesn't matter. And look at our kibr, and for the mothers and fathers in this room, when the children wants to come and get married, and look at the kibr. It's the first crime, and it's the first disease when Allah created this universe, before the earth. There was a next one happened on earth, but this one happened there. When Iblis, Shaitan, the devil, refused to prostrate. And why? And it's amazing how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeated this scene in the Quran. Repeatedly, and you sometimes say, Ya Allah. Repeatedly, one of the most common scene repeated in the Quran is this scene. قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ. Allah ordered the angel prostrate to Adam. And then the response, it depends which surah you are reading. But the response of Iblis is the same. أَنَا خَيْرٌ مِّنْهِ. Even when you read it this way. Your teachers will tell you, show me how he said it with arrogance. I am better than him. And even worse when he gave the explanation. خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين. He's a clay. I'm fire. I'm better. And you know, scholars of hearts, they say, look at this one. They say Shaitan, with all the major sin he did, we can still find maybe there is an excuse. At least he was created from a different material. Fire versus clay. Look at us human beings. كلكم لآدم وآدم من تراب. All of you from Adam, and Adam was created from dust. What's the big deal? Why I am better than you? Why you are better than me and you look down at me? Don't you know who I am? Don't we say that? It's a very famous story to Al-Hasan al-Basri. It's beautiful. They said he was, for those of you, I'm sure everyone, at least you're familiar with the name. He's a legendary in knowledge and in spirituality. And he lived in Iraq, in Basra. He's a follower, meaning he didn't see Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. So he was sitting in a chair. He was sitting in the street. And then the ruler came in, a prince, with all the entourage. Think of it these days. But those days, they walked, and they were on their animals. So everybody in the street stood up. And he did not. So the prince said, hold on. He came to him and he says, why didn't you stand up? Don't you know who I am? Think of us. And look at the answer. He said, of course I do. So what do you expect the answer will be? You know, you are this person, this person, this person. He said, and I'll say it in Arabic because it rhymes and I'll translate. ما أنت إلا نطفة مذرة. You are basically a spoiled piece of sperm. وستكون جيفة قذرة. And you will end up as a dead corpse. وبينهما تحمل العذرة. And in between, you carry, please forgive me, stool. That's a human being. That's a human being. You like it, you don't like it, you accept it, you don't accept it. This is reality. خلقناكم من نطفة. Allah created us from sperm. Those of you who have been in medical field, you know we cannot see it. We have to see it through the microscope. If you want to see the sperm or the egg, we don't see it. At one point, we will end up under the earth. I like it or I don't like it. What is this kibr? People cut their ties. They don't talk to the mother. They don't talk to the father. They don't talk to their brothers. Don't know. Did you see how she talked to me? Who does she think she is? This is who we are. Kibr. Biggest disease. Number one. Scholar put it always number one. And number two. And it was the first crime happened on this earth. Number two, jealousy. واتل عليهم نبأ ابني آدم بالحق إذ قربا قربانا فتقبل من أحدهما ولم يتقبل من الآخر قال لأقتلنك قال إنما يتقبل الله من المتقين. Recite to them. Allah said this in Surah Al-Ma'idah. Recite to them the story of the sons of Adam. Two boys. Their father is Adam, Nabi. And these both gave to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala qurban. Qurban is qurbani, meaning sacrifice. And Allah accepted from one and didn't accept from the other because of the intention. That boy get jealous. I'm going to kill you. And he killed him. Jealousy. Disease of the heart. And we say, I don't have it. Do we have it? We don't, or we do, or we don't know. We do? How many? Show me, hands. And we don't? How many we don't? Meaning the rest is, we don't. What is the sign I am not jealous? Let's talk about the good ones, since the majority think they are not. Alhamdulillah, it could be true. It could be. Allah is capable. It doesn't mean every disease I have. What is the sign I don't have jealousy? I'm sorry? Yes and no. Sign, the jealousy is between me, is my relationship, how I handle things. What is the sign that I have no jealousy in my heart? And usually it is true. It's a sign you know Allah very well. You will never be jealous if you know Allah very well. So your friend who didn't go to school, right? Or she was the least smart girl, the last year did this, did that, and ended up in this college, ended up at Harvard. You and your mother, what's the immediate response? Yeah, so what do you will say immediately? This is how you know what's in your heart. What is the first thing come from your mouth? So you will say, she texts you and says, guess what? I was accepted at Harvard. What? What did she do? She's joking. No way, no way. This is not. What is that saying? You're saying no way, but what is your heart saying? She doesn't deserve it. I should. What? Jealousy. Versus, subhanallah. Really? This is amazing. Allah is capable of everything. It's the same scenario, but two different responses. Second disease. And I'm just going, literally, I'm going very quickly because of the time. SubhanAllah, there's only 15 minutes left because we decided we're going to make some questions and answers. Third disease, and then I'll come to the process. Third disease, common. MashaAllah, there's angels in Cincinnati. We said it. Anger. Now everyone is quiet. Anger. La ilaha illallah. What are you seeing? Children, kids, 5 and 6 years old. And you see them fighting and look at the anger. Origin of anger is kibr. How come you don't listen to me? Don't you know who I am? I fed you. I spend money on you. I gave you my time. You are my best friend. It's all about I. And I expect, and you do not give me what I want, and then I get upset. I'll give you an example. This will blow your mind. It was also one of very righteous people. He was in the masjid, and the lights were dim. And as he was walking with two of his companions, as he walked, he stepped on a man's hand. Painful. The man jumped and says, "Are you blind? هل أنت أعمى?" This is a scholar. His friends jumped on the man. He said, "What's wrong with you?" He asked a question, "Are you blind?" And I'm going to say, "No, I am not." Did you get it? If someone looks at you and says, "You're blind," what is the response? Exactly. Why this man can say it naturally, and I and you, we can't. It's very difficult. It's the heart. It's the heart. It's the essence. When I am connected with the source of the peace, as-salam, I live in peace. And the essence of Tazkiyah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all, that you do not see anyone benefiting you, hurting you, giving you, holding anything from you. It's only, and there is no other only, Allah. Al-Mani', Al-Dar, Al-Nafi', all the names that you know, and most of us have it on the walls in our homes. You see Allah is the one who operate. Some of you probably in this room, you remember when you were young, there was a very famous play, what it's called the Duma. It's like the puppets show. But the puppets were moving. And we only see the puppets moving, but we don't see who's moving them. And we also hear a voice. You see it these days. We on this earth are like these. And who's moving us? Allah. So when you came today, and I see these beautiful faces, may Allah again reward you on a Friday in this cold. I don't see you came. First thing I said, Alhamdulillah, Ya Allah, you brought them. You brought them. And then if I came to this room and I see nobody, and I flew from St. Louis, and I came, and I changed my call because I want to be here, and I see nobody. I don't see, look at the people of Cincinnati, why did they invite me? I say, Ya Allah, I need my reward. I came for you. They couldn't come. You didn't want them to come. End of the story. Where are we in our life from this? Especially this day and age. Everything is mine. I planned it. I did it. It has to come this way. Imam Ibn Ata al-Sakandari, some of you may know the name. Anybody from Syria here? Okay, Sheikh al-Bouti wrote a beautiful 6-volume books about al-Hikam al-Ata'iyya. Al-Hikam al-Ata'iyya, Ibn Ata al-Sakandari is a very pious, spiritual, literally when you read his words, it's like, where is this coming from, Ya Allah? I speak Arabic, this is not the words I know. A man attached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he wrote, it's only like 3-4 lines. You know, like these days when people put on Twitter and put on, it's the same thing, but if you read them. And Sheikh al-Bouti, may Allah bless his soul, wrote 6 volumes commentary on it. And this is one of the ones I'm going to share with you because it's related to Tazkiyah and how Tazkiyah is going to clarify your heart, remove the diseases. You will see very clear, the lens is very clear, you will see Allah only. And he says, أنت مع الأكوان, and I'm going to say it in Arabic, it's a very eloquent Arabic. أنت مع الأكوان ما لم تشهد المكون فإذا شهدت المكون كانت الأكوان معك. I'll translate. أنت مع الأكوان, you are with people. You see people, I'm not saying I see you hurt me, or I see you'll make me happy, or I see you give me, or I see you fire me, and I see you hired me. I see people doing things. And he says you will be with people always till you start seeing Allah. Once you start seeing Allah operating, everybody will be with you. Everyone will be with you. People will serve you and you don't even want it. That's the goal of Tazkiyah, ladies and gentlemen and brothers and sisters. Tazkiyah is where your heart will be clear. It's a process. And again, time will not allow me to go through it. The process starts like this. Number 1, who are you? And Imam al-Ghazali defined us as 4 groups of people. First question to know who you are, and I'll ask this question. What makes you happy? This is actually Imam al-Ghazali. What makes you happy? Food, how many people, food and drink make them happy? And sleep. Okay, that's group. How many people having power in their hand? They are the best. They control. That's their happiness. It doesn't matter what they eat. How many? Okay. How many people praying, fasting, obeying Allah, forgiving people? You know the angel? If they are there, they are very happy. Alhamdulillah. At least I saw hands. Alhamdulillah. How many people, or which one of you, happiness for them is when they plot against someone and they ruin them or destroy them, whether family, whether competitor, whether a company, whether a friend? How many? You're not going to show me the hands, of course. These are the four characters or the four nufus. Imam al-Ghazali says, human beings are four. Either angelic nafs that is very happy when it obeys Allah. I am a cat-like a cat, like a dog, like a sheep, so happy when I eat and drink and sleep. Anybody has a cat? Right? What do they do? I always joke with my cats. What do you do for a living? You eat and drink and sleep. This is how I look at her and I say, you are exactly what Imam al-Ghazali said. An-nafsul bahimiyya. The bahimi soul. Eat and drink and sleep. And there's a fourth one, because of the age, I'm not going to say it. 4. That's the happiness. Second one, ash-shaytaniyya. The devil-like nafs. The one that will spread mischief, destroy families, destroy people, create hatred between people. Exactly what shaitan does. I did it. I ruined her marriage. She said this to me, and see how I will revenge. Beware that shaitani character. Third is, they call it sabu'i, meaning the predator-like nafs. Predator, like lion. I'm the king. Everyone is under my control. And the fourth is the angelic. Which one we have? I love it. Silence. Nobody is saying a word. Can anyone in this room, myself number one, by the way, I can claim I have an angelic nafs? I would love to. Ya Rabbi, Ameen. But it's a big claim. And Allah is going to ask me, show me. Is it one or the 4? Scholars differ. Most of them, they said we change. But there is one predominant. Tazkiyah. Now you're going to say, why she's telling this? Tazkiyah process. Tame, not remove. Tame. Pay attention to the word. I need to eat. And I need to drink. And I need to sleep. And I need the other thing to increase the population. And I need to have anger. And I need to be in control sometimes. And I need to be praying and having peace with Allah. Tazkiyah will control the 3 and will flourish the angelic nafs. That's what it is. That's why in Ramadan, most of the Muslims during the day, pay attention to what I said, during the day, they are more closer to the angelic. Because there is no food, there is no drink, and even anger, you're going to keep reminding yourself, I'm fasting. There is more act of worship. After we eat, now starts coming. My goal and you in the process of Tazkiyah is, number 1, identify who you are. What is the predominant character that you are? And nobody has to show it to you. You know very well. Everybody in this room, I am sure, they know who they are. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to turn to Allah and say, Ya Allah, you taught me. Now help me. I can't do this. This is very hard. That's why fasting is one of the pillars of Tazkiyah. Pillars of Tazkiyah. You cannot be in a process of Tazkiyah and you don't do at least 3 days a month. I'm not talking about Ramadan. We pass it in the process of Tazkiyah. You pass the obligation. So look at your nafs. And number 1, learn. This is the first step in Tazkiyah. Learning. This is learning. This is learning. You take this knowledge wherever you took and start practicing it. Learn. Don't look at other people. Tazkiyah is about me. Oh, I know my friend has a sabu'i nafs. She's like a predator. Oh, I know my co-worker is... This is not it. It's about you. Each one of us. Imagine each one of us will change how this world will be Each one of us will go for Isha with an angelic nafs, angelic soul and feeling where the shoes will be. And subhanAllah, and Allah made me remember this. I was in Hajj and I witnessed this. It was a very famous, eloquent Arabic sheikh. And I actually heard it. He was giving a talk. And this was in Mina. And he said, I got this question today as I was going to cast the pebbles. And a man looked at him, he knew him. He says, Ya Sheikh, when the Muslims will go back and run this world and rule this world, what was his answer? It's related to the shoes I gave you. He said, when Mina will be clean. Have you been to Hajj? How many of you been to Hajj? Have you seen Mina? Day 2 and 3? Right? We all complain about it. And he said, when Mina becomes clean in Hajj, the Khilafah will come back. Did you get his point? When I will say, when the shoes, in wherever we are praying, not necessarily in the masjid, when I will spend the extra 1 second putting the shoes together in the bin, then I am in the right track. It doesn't matter how many rak'at I'm going to go do inside. But my outside, I am not yet there. I'm not yet there. That's tazkiyah, knowledge. Learn about yourself. Who are you? Who are you? And ask Allah, Wallah ladhi illahu, beg Him in that moment that He gives you. Ya Allah, and this is actually a dua, or it's a saying to Sayyidina Umar. And he used to say, Rahimallah mri'an ahda ilayya ayuba nafsi. May Allah bless that person who will gift me my shortcomings. We get very upset if somebody tells you, please put the shoes in the right place. What do you will do? Yani, why she's teaching me? Right? I know. The least we will say, I know. Or we don't even answer. And I gave the shoe because it's a big example. It's shoes. But it tells me, where is my heart? This is His house. I keep saying this to the youth before the adult. It's His house. It's not mine or yours. I can't come in and make a mess in it. And I run around and I say what I want to say, young and old. It's His house. May يعظم شعائر الله فإنها من تقوى القلوب. Glorify His signs. This is His house. His house, and He invited you and me. So tazkiyah, number 1, learn about yourself. Which one you are, which nafs, which is the predominant. In the morning, which one you are, or in the evening, or on Friday when I am with my friends, or on Monday when I am with my co-worker or I am at school. Number 2, turn to Allah and ask Him to change you, show you the way. This is not very easy. Again, I'm giving you literally a long process, but at least you will get an idea. Number 2 is a tawbah, where you will say, you know what? I don't want to lose my temper. Ya Allah, please help me. That's number 2. Dua and turn to Him. Number 3, the practical points. What should I do in my day to change? Number 1, and you will probably laugh, or you will say, what does this has to do with it? Eat less. Eat less. Sleep less. Talk less. Interact and intermingle and socialize with people less. They call it the 4 less of tazkiyah. قلة in the Arabic. القلة الأربعة. And 1 more. 1 you do a lot. What is that? 1 thing. 1 thing. Dhikrullah. Remember Him. Remember Him. Just say astaghfirullah. Just, who doesn't know astaghfirullah? Even if you don't mean it from your heart. But the tongue is saying it. Keep your tongue, the hadith of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Keep your tongue moist with the remembrance of Allah. Keep it all the time. All the time. and give and see what will happen. And there's a saying to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, or to one of the scholars, one of the saints, is dhikrullah is like the cleansing agent of the heart. You know, when you wash dishes or you clean something, you need something to clean with. Remembering Allah is that thing. One of the things that we don't do, rarely, and I'm saying this when we come for Jumu'ah, how many of us spend this 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes before the Imam enter in dhikr of Allah versus talking with the people next to us? 10 minutes, once a week. Dhikrullah. Remember these 4 less. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are in the winter. You know what they call the winter? Ash-shita'u rabi'ul mu'min, they call it. The winter is the spring of the believer. Very short day. Fajr is 6:20 here. In St. Louis is 10 to 6. 6 o'clock in the morning. And Maghrib, for us, 20 minutes before 5. I don't know what time it is here. So less than 11 hours. As if you skip your lunch at work. Start with fasting. One of my friends, may Allah give her Jannatul Firdaus, wrote an article about it, and she said fasting is the killer of the nafs. Kills your shaitani, because you're in control. You're dying to have this morning coffee, but you're not doing it. It's not Ramadan, but you're not doing it. It teaches you self-control. All these things we talk about these days. Self-control, start fasting. Number 2, talk less. And talking is not only talking, posting, responding. Not every text you have to respond, or every post you have to respond, or you have to like. This is all talk. Less, calm it down. 3, sleep less. I know people living these days, not in the books. Average, they sleep 4 hours. Not continuously. Here. In America, not overseas. And not a scholar. Every night. This is from his wife. 2 a.m. he's up. Not young man. Diabetic. Sick. 2 a.m. She said he doesn't even need the alarm. 2 a.m. he is on that sajada with Allah. 2 a.m. When I am, me and you, up at 2 a.m., when I have a flight at 4 a.m., and I don't want to miss it, or I have an exam tomorrow and I'm studying, or I am really with my friend on the message, or whatever I am. And I will end here, so I'll give you some questions if you have, because I was told 7:30 is the Isha, am I right? So we'll have time for Isha also, especially you go with the beautiful hearts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the longest oath in the Quran. Oath. So Allah made a lot of oaths in the Quran. Qaf, Sad, all these. La uqsimu biyawm al-qiyamah. The longest oath. 11 ayat before he talked about the oath. It was about Tazkiyah. All of you know Surah Al-Shams. الشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها. You all know it? What is the subject of the oath? He made the oath by the sun, by the night, by the day, by the moon. What is the subject of the oath? قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Successful is the one. And al-falah, even successful, when you translate to successful, it's an incomplete translation. Utmost, highest level of success is the one who purifies himself or herself. It's very difficult these days, and I'm not going to say it's easy. The culture we live in, the time we live in, the lack of morality that we live in. Wallah alladhi allahu, I had a lunch 2 weeks ago with an 82-year-old non-Muslim. I have to see you, Dr. Yunis, but it's not in the office. I'm not a sick patient. I was like, okay. I went with her in an interfaith group to Jerusalem 2006. And she came in, I can't say her name just for privacy. And this is 82-year-old woman. She has a project, a big book, very organized. What is the project? 82-year-old. non-Muslim. What is the project? Bring morality back to this earth. Wallah alladhi allahu. That's what her project was. And this is exactly 1 hour she's talking to me. Says, I know people laugh at me, but you know what? She keeps saying this parable. Says, look at the sky. Look at the stars. They're triangles, and then they become connected. It's all start by 1. Did you get the parable? She says, starts by 1. Bring your circle. Spread this with your circle, with your circle, with your circle, and then we'll fill the sky with stars. Bring back morality. Please forgive me, F word and S word. It's normal. Muslims. And I was like, where did you learn this? Where was this? In the Quran? Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. I'm not talking about youth only. I'm talking about adult. Why? What's wrong with subhanallah when I see something beautiful? What's wrong with astaghfirullah when I really feel very appalled by something? Why do I have to say this? Copy and paste, I call it. And I always remember, you will follow the footsteps of the Jews and the Christians step by step. He said this almost 1,500 years ago. And if they enter a hole in the wall, that there is a scorpion in it, you will follow them. Subhanallah. It's one of his prophecy, alayhi salatu wasalam. Started, my beautiful brothers and sisters, you will live in peace. Wallah alladhi la illahu. You will live in peace. You will see him. You will feel him. You will be close to the source of peace. He will, once you get close to him, he'll push you. You start doing things you never thought you will be able to. You start saying things you will never think you will ever say. He will. If Allah is with us, who can hurt us? And if Allah is not with me, who can support me? May Allah reward you, all of you. Jazakum Allahu khairan. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabi tasliman kathira. I stopped intentionally early because I wanted questions and answers. May Allah reward you all for coming. Jazakum Allah khair. Questions and answers about anything. You can write it down if you want, or please do. Please. Jazakallah khair for starting.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much. Jazakallah khair for coming, putting your patients aside, putting your cat aside, putting your family aside. But I also want to say Jazakallah khair to my 40 plus girls in the back for coming and paying attention and being a part of your audience. So those of you guys who are not my students tonight, can you at least applaud my young girls here? They're very intelligent, obedient, respectful. SubhanAllah, I'm very blessed to be a part of their life. So my question to you is, what is your one piece of advice to help them understand and identify as a Muslim in today's day and age?
We had this discussion this afternoon. And I'm going to start by asking, and I think each one of us, and by the way, it's not only the youth, how many Muhammad has become Mo? And how many Sarah became Sarah? And how many people are fasting, they say, I just don't want to eat today. It's not only the youth. The youth is harder on them, that's for sure. However, principles, always think of this. Number one, who are you? In front of Allah, and I had this discussion with one of the youth. I'm going to stand in front of Allah. Anybody has any doubt in this? Young and old. Do you have a doubt that one day I'm standing in front of Allah? Right? All of us. Sooner or later, Allah knows when. Who I am when He put me on this earth. He's not going to tell me, are you Iraqi? What's your passport? Where was your mother born? The question is, are you a Muslim? He made you a Muslim. Number one. A question I have to everybody. Number two. Why are you shy, uncomfortable saying you are a Muslim. Honestly, this is reality. I'm not going to say you shouldn't. It's reality. Why? If I say 3 and if I am missing one, add the 4th. Number 1, we are all very scared. Right? You're scared somebody is going to say something to you. And you think, when I enter a plane, what do you think in me? Ya Allah, make it easy. And if someone looked at me in the plane and says, please get down because I don't want to fly with a terrorist, how should I answer? So the fear is normal. And it's part of my reward. Because that's a struggle. That's jihad. That's the word. I am a Muslim. Allah created me as a Muslim. I have 2 choices. Take it as a gift or look at it as it's nothing. Is it a gift or not? Why I don't want the gift? Because I want to be like everybody. That's the problem of all the youth. And some of not the very youth. I want to be like everybody. Look at the reality of everybody. The percentage of depression and anxiety, and if there's a psychiatrist in this room, please correct me, is the highest in the Western world. And in these days, although life is much easier with all the technology, why do I want to be like someone else and not me? Why me being a Muslim is very hard for me? What is wrong with me saying to people I am a Muslim? They will say you are a terrorist. If I am not a Muslim, they will find something else to say. Because bullying is not only against Muslims. Bullying is against everybody. I will answer one thing, and this is what I said to the young lady. What Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, the advice he gave to Abdullah ibn Abbas when he was about 11. That time, Ya ghulam inni muallimuka kalimat, or inni uallimuka kalimat. My boy, I'm going to teach you words. And I want every youth, just listen. And if you don't like it, that's your choice. This is what he told him. He taught him what Islam about. He didn't tell him pray. He didn't tell the woman put hijab at all. And this is one of my teachers who I really respect. All the ladies, when he was teaching us, ladies come to me and says, you're his student, to ask him to give us a lecture about hijab. And he looked at me one day and he said, tell the ladies, I will never talk about hijab. When Allah in their heart, hijab will come. So true. When Allah in my heart, hijab will come spontaneous. I don't need anybody to tell me I have to do it, because I'm doing it to him. So what Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam told Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas, Ya ghulam, young man. He was actually 11. Scholars said 11, 12, ghulam. Inni uallimuka kalimat. I'm going to teach you words. If you ask, you need something, ask Allah. See what he's teaching him. If you need something, ask Allah. وَإِذَا اسْتَعَنْتَ فَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ. If you need help, ask Allah. And it's a long hadith, but I'm going to end with the end, because that's what I want the youth to learn. That's how you bring Allah in your heart. No. If all these nations, Muslims, non-Muslims, young and old, came together to harm you or to benefit you, they will not be able to do it unless Allah allows it. My advice to everyone in this room, myself number one, who I am to advise people, but number one, bring him back to your heart. Because when we were born, he was in our hearts. وَإِذْ أَخَذَ اللَّهُ مِنْ بَنِي آدَمَ مِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِهِمْ وَأَشْهَدَهُمْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ أَلَسْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ قَالُوا بَلَىٰ. Allah put it in our hearts long time ago that Allah is our creator. Learn about him. Now for the youth, 5 minutes a day. I'm not going to say 24, 5 minutes a day. Read one name of Allah. And not the name it's on the wall. Read, what does it mean? What does it mean when Allah says Al-Alim, all-knowing? All-knowing? Everything you think, you know, you will think about. The more you know about Him, you will not be afraid of Him. You will love Him. And the more you love Him, you want to obey Him. And the obedience will be of love, not because of Jannah and Nar, not because of punishment or reward. First thing, to identify yourself as a Muslim, know who is Allah. Learn about Him. And this needs work. Like you learned how to use a computer, like you learned how to study, this will need work. 5 minutes every day. Each one of you in the back, help each other. Send a message every day. 1 or 2 words about Allah. 1 or 2 words about Allah. One of my friends used to say this, and I was like, subhanallah. She said, you know, people send reminders for themselves. A reminder about this, or reminder about this, so we all don't forget. And we said, yeah. And she said, I send myself every morning a reminder. What do you think the reminder is? She says, the reminder come in the morning. Please don't disobey Allah today. What a reminder. Don't disobey Allah today. Period. Establish this relationship. And for teachers in this room, Sunday school teachers, Islamic school teachers, that's what you need to put in the youth hearts. Don't scare them. Don't talk about Jahannam and grave, or you don't wear your hijab and you're going to be... Don't do that. Don't do that, because it will push them away. Talk to them about Allah, Him, Subhanah, and turn to Allah to put it in their hearts. That's how I will say. 2, quickly, company. ولا تطع من أغفلنا قلبه عن ذكرنا واتبع هواه وكان أمره فرطا. Don't follow, don't obey those who are follow their own desires, the nafs, whatever nafs they have, and don't obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If your friend, young and old, and I had this serious heated discussion with a very dear family to myself, and one of their best friends, and I know this because I was in a discussion with that family. The husband doesn't believe, and the woman does not pray. Why these people are my friends? I'm not saying boycott them, but my friends, every week I see them, and I spend time with them. What will they teach me? Already shaitan is working on me. Oh, my nafs is working on me. Or environment is working on me. Now I bring other people. Choose your friends. And Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam said this, Al-mar'u ma'a man ahab. The human being will be in Jannah or fire with the one he loved and spent time. So learn about Allah, choose your friends, help each other, ask Allah to guide you. Is it better to be a strict parent? I love this. Or a soft parent? What is a soft parent? When it comes to raising children. Soft. Do whatever you want. It's okay. Allah Ghafoor Rahim. It's okay. You know, it's okay. Don't be too hard. My mother was so hard on me. Or everything is haram and you do this and see what's going to happen. What did Allah taught us in the Quran? Go to the source. What did He say? Ghafoor Rahim all the time. He's always forgiving. He's always merciful. Isn't He? ما يقال لك إلا ما يقال للرسل من قبلك. He's telling Allah, identifying or presenting Himself to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, to you and me. He said, I'm going to tell you, or you will be told what the previous prophets before you were told. Inna rabbaka, your Lord. And this is in Fussilat or in Shura. لَشَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ first, has severe punishment. وَلَغَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. And He's also merciful. This day and age, the way I was raised and some of the beautiful brothers and sisters in this room, it doesn't work. You're not going to do this and this is it. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Number one, I say this to parents. You are the example. أتأمرون الناس بالبر وتنسون أنفسكم وأنتم تتلون الكتاب. You order your children to do something, you don't do it. Don't watch haram. They go up to their room, I'm watching the movie on the TV. Number one, you are the example. In your weakness, show them the weakness and tell them, see how I am. And in your strength, number one. Number two, a lot of dua. A lot of dua. ربي أوزعني يا الله أصلح لي في ذريتي يا الله rectify my offsprings. 2, dua. 3, talk to them. When they come and tell you something, don't say, you did that. Let them talk. And I said this to one of the sisters this afternoon. I was in Oklahoma a couple of months ago, and they said, can you please talk to the Sunday school students? And I said, yes. And they said, can we bring everyone, boys and girls? And I said, yes. And their teacher is actually a convert sister, may Allah reward her. I come to the room like this size, full 16 or 17 or 15, you can imagine. This big, huge stack of questions. This is. So I asked all the adults to leave. It was only me and them. And I looked at them and I said, listen, whatever in this room, only Allah knows. And each one of you, what we say is not going to come out of this door. You promise me we'll talk, otherwise we're not talking. First question I read, they know I was a physician. What do you think the question was? So you know what our youth are facing. Show me the evidence that pornography is addictive. Can you believe it? The oldest person in that room was 17. They know way more than I and you know. Way more. And this was one of the examples in my life, taught me a lot. Everything is there. Google, everything is there. Right and wrong. You need to be informed. You need to accept the fact that they are growing in a different time. Talk to them, explain to them, and if they don't listen to you, you have no control over them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. To a certain age, you cannot. Once they get to 17, 18, they go to college, the only thing left for you is a dua. But number one, you are a righteous person. وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. In Surah Al-Kahf, it's Friday. It was Friday. You are righteous. You have Allah in your heart. You love salah. You do not backbite. You don't lie. You don't see haram. You don't bring haram to the house. The children will be. But you want them to be like Sayyidina Ismail. If you want them to be Sayyidina Ismail, you have to be Sayyidina Ibrahim. That's how it is. That's how it is. So, balance. You tell me when I need to stop, please. 5 minutes. Okay. Is anger justified in the face of injustice? Very good question. When is anger justified? Go back to the seerah. There was so much injustice, right? No one faced injustice like Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Everything we are facing, seeing, he faced it himself. When is anger justified? When was he angry? Has he ever been angry? Alayhi salatu wasalam? There's either yes, no, or I don't know. Yes? Has he ever been angry? Yes, for sure. The companions said that. How did they know? His face changes. Number one. So anger is not just a statement. It's how are you showing your anger? نعرفه في وجهه. We see it, his face changes. No shouting, no words, let alone hitting, let alone abuse, none of this. Number one. Number two, what made him upset? Only one reason. Only one reason. Some of you are laughing. Because once I look at myself, I was like, may Allah forgive me. How many of us get very upset and face changes when I see salah time comes in and I am in a gathering and no one gets up? And how many times I get upset because my child didn't listen to me, or my friend did not invite me, or they said this about me. So anger is justified in one thing only. When maharimullah, when the prohibitions of Allah is being violated. And the response is limited like he is. So when I see injustice, I see it on the TV, my role, don't do it, and ask Allah to lift it. Maybe my dua, my salah will remove that injustice. I think we need to get ready, right? جزاكم الله خير. May Allah reward you. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه تسليما كثيرا. We'll keep these questions because tomorrow we have a session for questions and answers. Inshallah.